And we're live. Welcome everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome, take a seat. Welcome, sit down, have my time, cause you know who's back. That's right, D the spot in the house, D spot in the house, D spots in this mud. What I say, D, you say spot, D. Hey, when I say D, you say spot. Come on, spot. When I say churros, you say what? Churros. What? I say churros, you say what? You say a solo sesh. You say a solo sesh. It's a solo sesh. Let's go. What's up, everybody? It will be a solo sesh for today. Yes, indeed. Churros, D-Spot format coming at you live. For patrons only. Pour yourself a little drink. It's Thursday. Alright? It's Jueves. Thursdays are classified as Jueves here in España, particularly for the younger folk, the student type. Probably you watching, subscribing. Have you recently subscribed? Do we have any new subscribers to the Churros Patreon page? In which case, welcome. This is your first time to a solo sesh. It's about to get funky, yo. Oh, it's about to get real funky. I'm probably blowing up this microphone. Hold on, the levels here are going crazy. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm just constantly peaking. Let me turn it down a notch. Are we turning this down a notch? No, hold on. What? Coming straight to ya from the city of Barcelona with another Patreon sesh. These are my favorite ones, folks. I love Patreon edition. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm not blowing off your eardrums, because time is of the essence, folks, and we got so much to get through on today's show. So much. On today's show, let me introduce you to the topics. Okay, on today's show, the topics. Hold on. I'm. Are you fucking this up? I'm fucking it up. Fuck it. We're going live. And you know what that means? It's live TV. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Hope you all had a nice old week and are getting ready for the weekend. It's not just any weekend. It's Easter's weekend, the weekend before Easter's, and we are actually going to be out of here. We're going to be out of here for Semana Santa, for Pascua. Okay, so it's gonna be more difficult for me to come to you guys. I'm turning down the input levels. I'm hoping that is better. I'm hoping this whole thing is gonna come out just smoothly, swimmingly, and swiftly, because like I said, time is of the essence. So we're gonna hope that the levels are good, and maybe I'll just put the microphone a little bit further away. Hope the music is coming through nice and clear, but not overpowering. We will see. I'm putting this out for you because I want to bring something to you, the loyal viewers of Churros y Tácticas. Go over to my YouTube, subscribe, D-Spot, okay? We're also going to be broadcasting this over there. So for today's topics, I wanted to talk about the radicalism in football and ask a question. Is it on the rise? Is the radicalism, the radicals, the fanatics, are they out in numbers today, these days, more and more so? Or is that just me, my old ass, yelling at the clouds? Is that just the old man yelling at the clouds syndrome? But I have the impression, and look, I know that I've got my radical side. I've got my little ultra within me, my boisterous noise within me, the hooligan within me. It is definitely there. And on this podcast, you guys have seen that side of me where I deem everything a conspiracy against Barça and these kinds of moments where I just feel like estamos contra todo y todos. We have to fight against everything and everyone. But I'm noticing that this same narrative is coming a lot from the other side as well. So I want to touch on it because we've seen Madrid put out a statement. A lot of people putting out statements, official statements. We have the referee commission, we have Real Madrid, we have Osasuna, excuse me, and even LaLiga. So we're going to get into that. And then I want to touch on, the reputation of Spanish football as a whole. Some more news has happened over the weekend or over the week as well, where the Guardia Civil, the police authorities, have busted down the doors of the Spanish Football Federation once more, looking for incriminating material regarding or not material, but just evidence and clarity on the contracts that took place between the Federation and Saudi Arabia, and understand exactly what happened with the money that was received. What is this? No, other side. Mirror image. And what else? I want to, of course, give you a little Barça roundup. There has been some Barça news, or at least rumors. Haaland. I think that was from last week, but maybe there's some more Haaland news that we can talk about. In any case, welcome to the show once more. It will be a solo sesh. Kian will not be able to join. He said he couldn't make it on time, so I had to kind of put something together for you guys because I couldn't fail you for another week, especially before Semana Santa, before Pascua, before Easters, and going away on a road trip with the fam where it'll be more difficult. I had to come to you guys with some of my latest and greatest. Okay, so hope you guys will enjoy this one. It will be a little bit a little bit on the spot, a little bit smoothly, right? Smooth. There you go. So let's talk about the Comunicado Oficial. Madrid, a couple of days ago, 3 days ago exactly, put out an official statement, and where they talked about the grave insults that Vinicius received on the day. That was when they played in El Sadar against Osasuna last match day. And they say the following: our club have presented una denuncia, so a complaint to the committee, the disciplinary committee of the Spanish Football Federation, against the referee Juan Martinez Munuera as a result of the negligence that he showed in his acto arbitral, in his refereeing report. This referee left out voluntarily and deliberately the insults directed repeatedly to our player Vinicius, insistiendo por nuestros jugadores lo mismo. Además, el Madrid también, on top of that, they've also handed in a complaint in relation to the insults and que ha trasladado the insults that the commission itself states they're against violence against racism, xenophobia, and intolerance in sports, y a fin de que se identifique y sancione. And we want them to identify these people and sanction them. I find it a little bit interesting because, look, the fact that Vinny has been on the receiving end of insults, grave insults, is nothing news. We are here at Churros D-Spot 100% against racism. Make no mistake about it. It's not something that I think I need to reiterate at this point in time. Those of you that watch this will know 100% where we as Churros stand on racism, xenophobia, and any violence, whether it's verbal or anything of that nature, against the player. I'm totally not supporting it, not for it. However, what has been interesting was the choice of words used by Real Madrid in their official statement, talking about racism and xenophobia and intolerance. Intolerance, I guess I could. Intolerance, I think, is the right word. Violence as well. I just wonder in El Sadar, particularly, because let's not confuse El Sadar with Mestalla. There wasn't any racism or xenophobia, as far as I'm concerned, that we heard of, right? That was prevalent during the game, that we heard, that obviously the media, local media have made have highlighted and made a point about. So, because the muérete, quite frankly, limits it to being violent, and I would say intolerance as well. I mean, if you're an attorney here, if you're intolerant to somebody, one way to express that would be probably wishing the death of that person, right? I think that's a fair way of classifying intolerance towards somebody. So I would go for those two terms. Now, what have Osasuna put out? They've then put out a statement that was on the 19th, so this was on the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, correct? The day after, 2 days ago, Osasuna has put out a statement where they have said, given the statement made by Real Madrid in relation to the racist conducts of El Sadar, the public in El Sadar, Club Atlético Osasuna wished to declare what happened last Saturday were not racist chants. And that way, we demand an immediate rectification. Rectification? Rectificación, se dice esto, rectification. We immediately demand Real Madrid to rectify publicly that statement, that accusation that they have put out, que no se ajuste, seeing as it doesn't fit the reality of the things that happened on the day. The club does not tolerate the reputation being smeared, neither the fans of Osasuna, who throughout history have precisely been public, made their position about anti-racism be public. Okay, I hope I'm summarizing that correctly, and that's true. Okay, I mean, we all know that certain sets of fans are either right wing or left wing. That in football clubs has been for decades the case, going back to as far as the 80s, 70s, the rise with football hooliganism, with ultras, with right-wing movements that has been countered by left-wing movements, extreme left, extreme right. Certain sets of fans, their more radical fan base are either neo-Nazi or they're anarchists, right? Let's be clear. Osasuna, in particular, have always kind of positioned themselves much more as a left-wing, radical left-wing fan base. So not the ones that would be chanting racist slurs necessarily. They go on to say, Osasuna and our fans have been always on the side of football fans that have suffered racist insults. That is correct. Los cuales no tienen, of which there's no place in sports, neither in society. Racist insults, that is. Which is why the club wants to demonstrate its solidarity towards players like Vinicius Jr. or Peter Francisco González, que semanas atrás ha sido objeto, who weeks prior was also subjected to racist insults and embarrassing conduct and denounceable conduct. Okay. Let's move on. So that is clear, right? Osasuna, I think, is very clear. Now we move on to the refereeing committee, who've put out a statement saying the following. And again, excuse me if I'm kind of doing this on the trot, but I I needed to put something together, and this was something that I'd been had my eyes on and had been keeping tabs up with. Should we put a little music? I don't want to. Let me put a little music. Venga, va. A little soft music, okay? What? This is a little. Not this one. I'm gonna get copy strike. Intro beats. This is a perfect reading beat. So the refereeing committee, what day was it? The 19th, also the day after. They themselves put out a statement, because let's not forget that Real Madrid in their statement clearly say that the referee deliberately did not put those racist chants that they deem racist in the refereeing report. So they put out and said the following. The CTA, the refereeing committee, would like to remind Real Madrid that a referee will only include in the refereeing reports incidents that occur before, during, or after the game, on the field of play, or in any place surrounding the sporting installations or outside of them, okay? Like they have always done. So you could say, well, okay, so why the hell didn't he put it, right? I mean, if that's the case, like, why didn't he put Vinicius Muérete in his refereeing act? I'm hoping that the sound, everything is fine. Well, they say, however, what Real Madrid are clearly not aware of is that the official informant of the game, so I guess every game has an official, what they call oficial informador, an official informant, who belongs to the refereeing committee. That person did reflect in the refereeing report the incident that took place, which it considered significant, thereby cumpliendo las funciones, thereby completing with his function in the fight against violence, racism, and xenophobia, in accordance to the yada yada yada. Then it says, in case there's any doubt, this document has been made available to the public since the 17th of March at this time, and these informs are sent to the Spanish Football Federation after every match day, and that has been the case for many seasons. Then it talks about how it's committed to fight violence and racism, yada yada yada. Anyway, that from when I skimmed over it was the main point. Okay, so it says, hold on, Real Madrid. You guys are saying that wasn't in the report. It wasn't informed by the referee himself, but it was informed by this official informant who are present in every single game and who add to the refereeing report. So just making a contrasting note to what Real Madrid have said. Rebuttaling them. Let's keep it moving on. La Liga, not just La Liga corporate, funny enough. Corporativo came out with a statement also, because I guess Tebas and company are getting a little bit frustrated, a little bit tired of the constant pressuring that they're receiving from Los Blancos, from Florentino Perez's beloved Real Madrid and Real Madrid TV. So they have put out this statement yesterday. They say, the Commission of La Liga considers that the complaint is a manifestation of the campaign orchestrated by Real Madrid against the Spanish referees with the presumable intention of pressuring the referees, dicho estamento, the referees, they're referring to the referees, with the intent of getting a competitive advantage with the decisions of the referee that the referees will make. Okay? Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. The La Liga here is directly pointing a finger at Real Madrid and saying what you guys have been doing and continue to do is trying to get a competitive advantage by having the referees blow in your favor, whistle in your favor, by continuing to pile the pressure on the referees and the refereeing committee. That is your objective. That is what we are presuming is the intention, to continue the pressure, the referees, to gain a competitive advantage. Tal y como ha indicado, as had been indicated by the refereeing committee, Señor Martínez Munuera, Mr. Martínez Munuera was excellent in his refereeing and stuck to the escrupulosamente, how do you say that? And stuck rigorously to the norms put in place, and basically did a formidable job. He put it in el acto, what the chants from the crowd were being said and what they were, who they were being aimed to, etc., etc., etc. Interesting, man. Interesting. And what I find particularly interesting as well is the continued victimization of Real Madrid, right? They continue to be portraying themselves as some horrible victim, whistled by, judged by, called by the referees and the refereeing committee on a consistent basis. They put out videos pressuring them week after week after week after week. They put out statements, false statements, insinuating racism, xenophobia, when that is clearly not the case. All the while, completely ignoring everything that takes place in the Bernabeu. And if you think that nothing takes place of this sort in the Bernabeu, then you have never visited the Bernabeu, or you just don't speak Spanish, don't understand Spanish, or flat out ignoring it and being completely ignorant about it. Ignorance is bliss. I get it. Ignorance is bliss. And we all need to take a good look at ourselves sometimes and realize somos la misma cara de la misma moneda. We all fall on the same side of the coin. We all commit the sins that we blame others for. And I'll start with myself. I'll look I've been very, very, I guess, self-critical on a sporting level always. Maybe institutionally I've been somewhat ignorant as well, and that has probably been made clear more and more since the Negreira case. I think never before have I been forced to be more self-critical than ever and investigate obviously these claims, the whole Negreira case, and look at the track record, or let's say the best practices, or the way that the club has been functioning over recent years. And I should have been more critical. I've publicly expressed my discomfort, my disappointment, and disdain to having paid one of the three vice presidents of the refereeing committee throughout nearly 2 decades, 17 years, because you have to question the motives behind that, right? I didn't mean to press that one. You have to question the motives, and although it's still in court, and I still want to believe that my club was not paying Negreira to receive favorable treatment from the referees. It's also true that when you're making these kind of deals and paying somebody in that position, it makes you just wonder why that is, And I want the reason why to be fully 100% clear, exposed, talked about, reasoned. And if in the end we go down for, disloyal administration, for shady business practices, whitewashing money, anything of that nature, trying to adjust the books, then, so be it. Let us receive the full ramification and repercussions of doing, faulty business. And if it is the latter, if it is paying referees for favorable treatments, then, we also need to take it on the chin, because I will not stand for that. But at the same time, I also think that what I keep saying, we all need to take a good hard look at ourselves, because there's no way that there's no, that these kind of business practices that Real Madrid have been doing are they're doing that without trying to obtain some sort of advantage. And also, just the hypocrisy, man. Like the double standards. I kind of digressed over here, start talking about Negreira, and I think I've beaten that one, that I've been very open about that. But when it comes to Real Madrid in the Bernabeu and the chants that players have to endure, Messi on a consistent basis. Messi muérete, Messi subnormal. Every time Xavi, puto Catalan, xenophobia at its maximum. Piqué being called xenophobic, homophobic slurs. Black people getting involved in these slurs as a way of insulting him. I'm not going to do the chants here because I just don't feel like. Same with Luis Enrique. You remember who they said his mom was. Racist abuse towards basketball players. Barça have always been on receiving tons of xenophobic, violent, racist abuse, as have other teams, as have other players. And that's not to justify, again, anything of the sort that happens in other stadiums. But what I don't like is the double standards and this victim approach that Real Madrid is taking when tackling the issue. They should also take a closer, harder look at themselves and wonder why they still have the number one neo-Nazi leading the fan zone, or what was called once the Los Ultrasur, right? That whole section, and it's still there, and they are still there. We saw that he is still there, and with Dani Carvajal and Lucas Vázquez and Nacho posing with the leader, the president of extreme right-wing organization like Vox, who have very questionable politics when it comes to race, immigration, anything of that nature. And yet they all have seats, VIP seats in the Bernabeu, in El Palco, take pictures with the players. Too much radicalism, man. Radicalism, in my opinion, is on the rise, and it's taken away from, again, my kind of, I guess, passion or love for the game, quite frankly. Football, with all the corruption that is happening, and I'm not excluding my own. It's just getting watered down. And certain things like the radical fan bases, in my eyes, are cringy. It's cringe. And again, I point a finger at myself, and I take a good hard look at myself and wonder my own practices, business practices, if you will, or let's say takes here on Churros, my own policies and theories. when looking at my own club, talking about my own club, whether or not I have been ignorant to it as well, oblivious, just turning a cold shoulder and being like, we're good and the rest are bad, simply put. And I'm probably fairly very, very sure that has been the case, and I don't want to continue going down that route. I would like to be more objective, more nuchter, more sober, more neutral, less biased when it comes to my takes on Barça, on football, on Madrid, on everything. And I'm going to make a conscious effort. To do so. Okay? All right. Well, these allergies, man. They're kicking up. So that's something that I wanted to get off my chest. I hope that came across coherently. I hope it came across smoothly, because I think it's very interesting. The fact that La Liga have put out this statement, admitting, basically saying that, hey, you guys are deliberately pressuring referees to get favorable treatment, I think is noteworthy, because they haven't before, right? Before it was Tebas always, look, Real Madrid can do no wrong, Florentino Perez, he always wins, and yes, we don't see things eye to eye, but they've got a green pass on everything, and Mbappe will come, and whenever he talks about Barça, it's, they still have to bend backwards, left and right, forwards and backwards to apply by the financial fair play rules, and they're far away from it. And I don't know. I think he's been very, very strict one way, lenient the other way. But it's interesting to see that La Liga has officially come out with this type of a statement against Real Madrid, and have just said, look, enough is enough. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. And I also think that Real Madrid are not doing themselves any favors by continuing to put out these videos and these types of statements that are just not truthful. They're false. They're false statement, and accusing a club like Osasuna that have traditionally been a lot more left-leaning than right. But look at this. I'm going to share the screen again. Look at my YouTube feed. Look at this. Ignore the crypto here. But Siempre Blaugranas is a big-time Barça guy. I somewhat enjoy listening to his videos, less and less. But I do, sometimes tap in to kind of keep up to dates with latest, mainly scandals, really, like these types of things. So he talks about this one, the World Cup being in danger for Spain, and he talks about the Rubiales. Well, I'm going to get into that. So let's talk about the Spanish Football Federation. But this guy, for example, Guijarro en clave Blaugrana, he should be called Guijarro en clave Madridista. He's this Barça, quote-unquote Barça fan. But really what he is a Barça fan in disguise. As Laporta once said about certain journalists, he said if they wouldn't pretend that they are Barça fans, nobody would even listen to them. And he is the poster boy for that kind of statement. Excuse me. Anything that Laporta and Barça do is consistently bad, really bad, and anything Florentino and Real Madrid do is amazingly good. I mean, look at that header there. He's like, Florentino's right about is right for going against Tebas. And it's every day. It's constant, man. I'm actually not. It's really annoying that YouTube throws me his
Hola,
videos.
Me llamo Antonio Guijarro.
Cállate, Guijarro.
Muchos de ustedes ya me
Cállate, por
conocen.
favor.
Me gustaría que
No te conozco ni quiero conocerte. Es que me das rabia, tío. Constant. Anything Barça do bad. Anything Real Madrid do is good. I'm not gonna take the time here to go through all of these headlines, but it's just Escándalo Mundial. Trust me, it'll be anti-Barça. Narnia is a word he uses constantly to talk bad about Barça and Barça fans. always he's got the latest with Negreira updates. He's always with this guy who's this poster boy for Madridismo as well, constantly doing podcasts. Zasca de Real Madrid TV, like a slap in the face by Real Madrid TV against the refereeing committee. It's decepción in Can Barça, deception and bombs exploding in Can Barça, and it's like this all of the time. Madrid favored to win. Guller is going to be a star. Thank you, Simeone. After the 3-0 in the Wanda Metropolitano, he puts out a video. Instead of saying Barça play well, we wipe the floor, he says thank you, Simeone, as if it's Simeone. The same narrative that Kian basically puts on here. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Anyway, Real Madrid da un golpe en la mesa. Madrid or asserting their dominance. Alarm bells running off in Barça. It's unbelievable. I mean, you go through this. You go through his comment section, and it's just all Madridistas as well. It's all Madridistas going like, yeah, it's great to see a culé like you. Yeah, so good to have a Barça fan that is objective. Yeah, I don't want to give him more time or space. Makes me absolutely sick, this guy. So I want to talk a little bit about Kimmich, but before that, I want to talk about El Fútbol Español, because the reputation continues to be damaged, right? Sport put out an article. Who wrote this? Joan Bails, so one of the main guys, one of the main directors, main editors of Sport. We're gonna go through his article. It's not so much the content or what his opinion about it. It's just more the breakdown of what happened. So let's get into it, okay? So while Rubiales is in the Dominican Republic, and he has been there for like a month or something, apparently, the Guardia Civil, right, the local authorities, busted down the doors of the Spanish Football Federation, trying to find these contracts. Okay, we're gonna go. What is it? So, un desastre absoluto. Okay, so here, ¿qué dice? Rubiales appeared to be in the Dominican Republic, right where so there's elections soon taking place. Un desastre absoluto. So there is a disaster that again ties Rubiales to corruption, whitewashing of money, disloyal administration, and all types of financial scandals. Who is free of guilt, according to the judge, is Gerard Piqué. Let's remember that Gerard Piqué was the middleman to negotiate between the Saudis and the Spanish Football Federation. And that is exactly how Cosmos, Piqué's company, has been viewed in this whole scandal, this whole ordeal. The judge has determined that Cosmos was the company that managed to get the contract, sorted the contract stipulated, let's say, between the Saudis and the Spanish Football Federation, and received the commission, and their work was done there. Now, can we talk about conflict of interest, seeing as Piqué was still an active Barça player at the time, acting as a middleman for Rubiales and the Saudis? I think so. I think, not directly in this deal, but hey, Piqué's getting money for Rubiales in his pocket. And meanwhile, Rubiales is the president of the Spanish Football Federation. That's, again, whether Negreira and Barça, whether that whole affair was for disloyal administration or getting fair freeze to blow in our favor, is regardless, really. I don't like it. It shouldn't be there. There's gonna be a conflict of interest at some point down the line, right? And same here. I think people are right to be calling a conflict of interest of Piqué being in this negotiation, being involved in this deal as Cosmos. Now, does it mean that there was some conspiracy that there's, referees start blowing Barça, start blowing Barça? Kia would be here right now. He'd be going, yes, exactly. That's exactly what's happening. Whistling in the favor of Barça? No, I do not think so. Not in this deal, neither with Negreira, I hope. But anyways, let's move on. So the problem is the management, the way the federation managed the money that they received from the Saudis, okay? And that right here is at play, is the big question. So the judge has asked for information about the agreement and all types of other contracts that have been involved, okay? They want it done quickly. Why? Because there's going to be elections. Espera, se depurará responsabilidades lo antes posible, se celebrarán elecciones. So I guess they're saying that there will be elections held as soon as possible. I mean, right now there's an interim president, right? So they're still waiting to hold presidential elections to start a whole new slate, a whole new, hopefully transparent slate with a new president in charge. A new era will start, and they want to do this as quickly as possible. And they want to do so, of course, because what they see at risk is the rights to host the 2030 World Cup. I can tell you this right now. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. There's absolutely no way. There's no chance. I'm going to go through my list of songs here. There's absolutely no chance that Spain is going to be hosting the 2030 World Cup. There's been way too much damage done for the FIFA to justify a World Cup being granted to Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Maybe Portugal and Morocco by themselves. I don't know. I doubt it that they would leave Spain out of it. I think that kind of ruins the party for all three nations to jointly put in a serious offer that will be an offer that will be seriously considered by the FIFA members to grant Spain, Portugal, and Marruecos the right to host the 2030 World Cup. Man, between the Rubiales and the Pico scandal, the kiss scandal of Jenny. Now this whole shady Saudi ordeal with, what happened with the money that was received by the Arab country. Piqué also being involved. Obviously, the whole Negreira thing hasn't done Spanish football favor as a whole. The whole Real Madrid putting out, slandering Spanish football referees, constantly being the victim, putting out all this stuff, all these things, the racism as well, the Valencia abuse that Vini received in Valencia and other players as well, like Osasuna and Barça when they go to the Bernabeu or to the Calderón, the Wanda, excuse me. It's just. Right now, Spanish football is hurting, man. Spanish football is hurting. It'll be interesting to see how we will get out of this. We have to. There has to be, these elections coming up, hopefully held as soon as possible. Hopefully they will put somebody in charge that will be able to be, I guess, just start a new, clean, transparent era. Do I think that's Iker Casillas? No. I don't. I like Iker, but Iker has been tweeting over the years far too many things for me to consider him somebody that will take a cool, calm, collected, and sober approach when dealing with all these kinds of things that these guys have to deal with on a daily basis. That would leave me way too much room to be suspicious. And I would like somebody, and hopefully that doesn't have ties to any clubs, whether that's pipe talk, pipe dream. It might be. I don't know. But hey, ignorance is bliss, One can hope. One can certainly hope that will be the case moving forward in this new era of the Spanish Football Federation. I think everything needs a good cleanup. The refereeing committee, La Liga, Spanish Football Federation, Football Club Barcelona, and Real Madrid as well. I think, I don't know, man. You know, from one dictator to a president that is also, at the moment, leaving quite a lot to be desired, I think, to another president, Madridista president that heads the La Liga, to the refereeing committee, to the Spanish Football Federation with Rubiales and his shady business affairs and the way he composes himself publicly. Oof. The radicals, maybe. The radicals, they got to take a seat. And I will do that for one as well. I'm going to be more self-critical. I'm going to see if I can be the person that I want to be and try to be more objective. I want to hold myself to a higher standard. And like I said, I've got you guys to be the judge, so hopefully you guys will hold me to that. But vamos a ver. Bueno, how long have we been going? 45 minutes exactly. I think that's a good place to leave off. It is the last time that I'll be coming to you guys from the studios, from D-Spot Studios for a little while. I'm going to be going on a road trip with the family. The kids are off for Easter break, Semana Santa, señores. And so we're going to visit some friends in the south of France. Friends in the south of France. Let me leave you guys on this now. Okay, little good note for the one or two culés that do tune in. Hey, Xavi's not going to miss the Clásico. Woohoo! There was a risk that Xavi was going to miss the Clásico. Let's not forget that he received the red card over at the Wanda for just talking, really, and asking for an explanation. I shared with you on Twitter the images of him talking to the fourth official, and the fourth official going to the referee like, give him another! Absolute madness. But anyway, it is what it is. But he will be present for the Clásico. So how many games will he miss in total? Let's see. 2 game suspension and a fine of 700 euros for the club and 600 al técnico. No entiendo. Sorry. Okay. 700 euro fine for Barça, 600 euro fine for Xavi. An anecdote, but he will be out for 2 games. But it does mean that he will be available for El Clásico. Good news. Let's end the show on a high. And Kimmich no ve claro el interés del Barça. So the latest rumor that Miguel Sanz is reporting here, Joshua Kimmich has been linked with Barça for quite a long time. He's been very open about his admiration for Barça, the Pep team, in particular Xavi, as a player, and said that he would love to play for the club. Well, now it seems that he's a little bit hesitant. I don't know. I haven't read this, so let me just skim over this. Este verano he could leave Bayern, but el entorno, the team surrounding the player are doubting the Barça option because of economic reasons. Bayern are going to ask for a lot of money. Obviously, Barça are not in a situation to cough up a whole lot of cashish. Xavi's been talking about his incorporation, and it seemed that he was decided to make the jump, but when it comes to real options, they're doubting it because Bayern don't want to negotiate with Barça, and Barça don't have enough money. So, well, I mean, look, if Bayern are, they hold all the cards. Of course, the player can potentially. Let's finish the article here. Si el Club Blaugrana, if they have the economic capability to push for Kimmich would love to dress in Blaugrana, but as of today, they don't have that guarantee, and the football player wants to clarify his situation before the Super Cup takes place. So it looks like his destination could be either PSG or Man City. Well, no big surprise, 2 clubs with 0 financial strains and a free pass when it comes to spending as much as they want. Bayern right now, remain hopeful that they can renew him, but without a salary increase. Anyway, let's see. I don't know. Kimmich, do I think he's clearly a quality midfielder. I think he's an interesting option for Barça, especially given the fact that, we don't know exactly what's going to happen over the summer with somebody like Frenkie de Jong. But with Pedri's recurring injuries, we'll see how Gavi comes back. Gundi's, who's, in the mid-30s. And we'll see. I mean, he's an option that has been interesting, but I don't know if that will materialize given the situation. Folks, happy Easters, Feliz Semana Santa, have a good one. I do not know when we will see each other next, but it will be sometime soon. I can make sometime, of course, while we're traveling. And, hey, maybe Kian would like to do a solo sesh sometime. Hey, Kian! Maybe not just on Managing Madrid. Maybe I see there's a lot of people being invited to the Managing Madrid platform. Interesting stuff. Invite one of your friends over here. Remember? We got a little channel here where we like to have a little something called Churros y Invitados. Get one of your invitados on Churros. You have a fan base here that would love to hear from you, not just on the Managing Minions platform. Guys, I'll leave you with this little tune. Story about a man named me. Peace out. Much love.
Yes. Wasn't afraid, just a bit scared. Me knew that the talent that me had was rare. Me like to talk, me like to sing. Me felt the spark, me wanna do me thing. Me bounce around from town to town. Me lost and found, me upside frown. But many people didn't like to see me doing things for which me felt the need. Me try to blend, me never offend. Me never claim nothing that wasn't earned honest, me friend. Slick Rick and Big